Welcome, guys. Welcome back to my podcast. Yee! And today we're going to be talking about Bold and the Beautiful. This is season 13 review. What did I think about Bold and the Beautiful season 13? A lot of dumb things about this season. There's some good things about this season I did like. There's some stupid stuff I didn't like. But yeah, anyway, please subscribe, turn the notification, click the bell beside you. Anyway, let's jump right on to it, shall we? So, Bold and the Beautiful, season 13, I think it started on the 26th of September. I can't remember. But, yeah, it went on to about September the 23rd or something. I can't remember also. But yeah, a lot of dumb elements. A lot of things that did not make any sense. Yeah. So we cut to Taylor in labour at the hospital. And okay, it's a good heartwarming scene. I did like that she called one of her daughters Steffi, and that was I liked that scene, those scenes. Wish we had more of them. The Fawn and Brooke story arc, them being together, was pretty insufferable. It was very humiliating. Like, okay, this is what happens. Who cares? Yada yada. It's like, okay, nothing feels big, and it feels like, this is what Brooke does. She hoes around like an idiot, like, she doesn't care about anybody but herself. And, when Stephanie has that stroke, and she's in a wheelchair, Brooke's like, oh, well, I don't really care about that person's feelings, She tried to ruin my life. Okay, yeah, she tried to ruin your life, but that doesn't excuse what you've said to her in the past. Like, that's not very nice. Come on now, Brooke. You know better than that. The Amber story, drowning her dead baby and then, like, covering, like, Becky's child, using Becky's child to think that Rick still has a son, but, his son's dead or something. It's like, why? Just like, why? It doesn't make any sense. And it makes Amber look dumb. Like, she is an awful character. I'm glad they got rid of Tawny. Tawny was one of the worst characters. She was very insufferable. Gotta be about this or gotta be about that. She didn't care about anybody, Tawny. And that bit when she puts a gun at puts a gun at Kimberly, like that wasn't okay. Like, that was kind of stupid. Like, of course she's gonna go to Rick, or of course she probably should have gone to the police, you dummy, because that was threatening. She threatened her. These people don't know, like, if someone threatens each other, they don't go to the police. They just like, oh yeah, like Kimberly threw Brooke out a window. Brooke would report that to the police. That's like just a normal thing. Even though Brooke kind of deserved getting thrown out the window after what she did and what she said. Making a character say, like, oh, you don't want to do this, versus while having the conversation, she's like, oh, Macy wanted me to die when she drunk. She wanted me to, like, spin the car around. Of course they're going to go with that. It's so dumb. It's like, no, she was drinking because she was upset because you obviously were, messing around with Thorn. Obviously, she started drinking because of it. I mean, she stopped drinking in 6 years, and then she started drinking again because of your stupidity. I'm just saying. Also, that makes no sense if it's been 6 years, because wouldn't that mean that Rick was about 3 when she started drinking, and he's about 20. So it would have been 17 years. I don't know. It makes no sense. Bold and the Beautiful. Come on now. And that stupid scene with Rick and Bridget coming onto the show. I do think this is the best Bridget character. I do think Jennifer, whatever her name is, Jennifer somebody. I can't remember, but I do think Jennifer plays it a lot better than Ashley. But that stupid scene with Rick and Bridget and get saying like, "You're my brother, you're my sister." That was so dumb. Like she'd never seen Rick before ever in her entire life. That's what that scene sounded like. Like, "Oh, you're my brother, you're my sister." It's like they've never seen each other before in each other's lives. Like that's dumb. What else happened in Bold and the Beautiful? I'm just going through a loop of it. We have the Amber getting arrested. I don't know. It's too depth into. I have too much ADHD. I don't comprehend things. I just watch it. But like, Bold and the Beautiful is one of those shows you don't ignore. Like, there's some stupid elements in it. Like, I watch some stupid stuff, but Bold and the Beautiful, I guess it's not as bad as Days of Our Lives, but it's pretty insufferable to watch. Like, nobody would act like this. Nobody would, like, Brooke choosing Fawn over her own children. Like, come on now. You're making your characters unlikable. I'm glad she kind of chose the children in the end, but yeah. I did like that Taylor was thinking about her children when she was on the plane to try and stop Thorne and Ridge getting together. I like that Ridge was like, "Oh, don't worry about those kids. Those kids will be fine. We need to stop Thorne and Brooke getting together." And all she can think about is those kids. Like, come on, Ridge. You need to think your kids are your priority. That should be your main focus. And your focus is like, I gotta just destroy this relationship because it doesn't suit me. It's like, shut up, Ridge. Oh, and the Morgan story is probably the worst one. I'll get to the Becky story, but the Morgan story's got to be the worst one because Morgan is pregnant with Ridge's child, but Ridge, she apparently like, I don't know, it was like pre-recorded or some shit. I can't remember, but like, she apparently got, she apparently tricked Ridge with the tape recording, and Ridge thought like Taylor accepted, he didn't speculate and say, "Oh, I'll actually go to Taylor just in case. I want to actually see her in person to see that I can do this." He didn't, he thought like, "Oh yeah, that was legit." And then he went with it, and then he got her pregnant. And then it was all just a setup. Like, and then the fact that she can go around dinking around like an idiot, like, "Oh yeah, this is a salmonation. I didn't actually purposely do." It's like, she was 17 when she got pregnant the first time, and he was 23. He was the same age as I was when he got Morgan pregnant. He was sleeping with a minor. And this show saying, "Oh, it's different because it's different. You can sleep with minors." We have demonstrated on this show that it is not okay to sleep with minors. Even Stephanie has gone to those lengths. You remember the whole Dylan and Jessica story where Stephanie was so confronted by the fact that, Dylan was sleeping with Jessica and, this was a big deal. And I was Team Stephanie. I was like, woohoo! You know, because Dylan was so in the wrong. This was just a crush that Jessica was going through. And yet, Stephanie has the nerve to go like, oh yeah, but, you know, I'm not trying to bash Stephanie. Stephanie is not the worst character on the show, but she's not great either. Because they're like saying, and Taylor too isn't great. Like, oh yeah, it's different because he was 23 and she was 17. She wasn't 16. Jessica was 16. It's like, she's still under 18, you dummy, or 21. I don't know what the American age in America is. Is that underage? I don't know. But she was still under 18. This show is so dumb. Like, and she wouldn't put two and two together. Where they get this dissemination, wouldn't Taylor speculate, like, oh yeah, how did she get that anyway? She couldn't go to the doctor to see, like, obviously she trusts the husband enough, but he didn't tell her about this, so obviously she's not going to trust him over this. I'm surprised she does trust him, because he's never trustworthy. The first marriage, he was dinking around with Brooke and trying to kiss her. You know, and in that marriage too, because it happened before Steffi and Phoebe were born. So, you know, what else? It's just, that's a dumb story. And Morgan's the worst because she tricked him and, you know, she's like, you know, isn't that count as rape? Or sexual assault, I should say. Like, isn't that like, you know, for like you sexually assaulted Ridge because she slept with him and it wasn't actually consent, even though he consented to it? Probably doesn't count because he's a man on that show. Men don't get sexually raped. That's not a real thing on this show. It's only women. Also, that was dumb because, but, you know, Ridge has slept with a 17-year-old, so, you know, he's probably worse. Who cares? This show doesn't care about anything. It doesn't care, you know, it's logic between, you know, the continuity to the timelines to the, you know, the plot stories to the plot holes. Like, nothing makes sense. Nothing, like, concludes, like, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect continuity, but it can't be so stupid. And the Becky story was just as bad. I don't think it's as bad as the Morgan one, but it's just as bad because Becky, they should have known. Like, it should have been Becky the one to find out, and Becky doesn't tell everybody. And that's how they should have gone with it, you know, that she had, you know, pancreas cancer or whatever. She should have been the one, not Amber. Didn't the doctor, like ID'd her or something? Wouldn't he? So you would think like he'd seen her before, so wouldn't he have known that wasn't her the second time? It'd be like, you're not Becky. You're not Becky Moore. Who are you? Who's this blonde girl? Wouldn't he have not noticed that? Am I tripping? Like, how did she get away with, you know, getting that information? She's so different to Becky. They look nothing alike. If she, okay, had a twin out there or something, maybe it's a different story and she got away with it and been like, oh yeah, my twin sister is dying or something. But they look nothing alike. So how does she get, you know, to the, you know, doctors to get that information? That makes no sense. And then everybody knew about it. Like, you know, Stephanie, Eric, CJ, I'm just kind of going through the list. Amber, obviously. Rick, Sally, her parents, Darla, Clark, Macy, Thorne, Ridge. You tell me every single person in that building. Have I said everybody? I can't think. Like, everybody, you know, knew that Becky was dying. and they did nothing about it. They're like, oh, but it would be selfish not to tell her, you know. Well, you know what? It would be selfish not telling her because she would just die. You know, she could be just in the kitchen, like cooking something, and then she's just dead. You know, you didn't think like you were gonna just let her die. Like the parents were one of the last ones to know about it before her. Were they just not gonna tell the parents either? Like they told Amber's mother too, Tawny, as well. It's like you don't even like your mother Amber, and you're like telling her this. It makes no sense. And she was like limping too. Like she could barely even walk. And she was like, I'm fine. I've got like a cramp here. It's been going on for about 3 months now, every single day. It's fine. It's nothing. It's like, are you sure about that? Like, and in every show, I shit you not, in every show, they gotta make, when a character dies, they gotta make that character as likable as they can get. Like, Becky was becoming the most likable character on the entire show. The way they were going about it's like, I'm nice, and yeah, you can do this, and we're gonna have a lovely day, and we're gonna have lovely cake, and I love all your beautiful faces. You're such a this is such a beautiful, you know, I love you guys so much with all my heart. It's like, why do you gotta make your characters so likable? Like, seriously. They did it with Stephanie, too, when they got Stephanie and Brooke to get, Stephanie died and Brooke is like, and Stephanie's like this with Brooke, I was wrong about you, Brooke. I've always admired you. I never show it. I've never proven it to you, but you have my blessing. You're like a daughter to me. It's like, what? They did that with Caroline's death. It's like, I forgive you, Rich. I love you so much. They've always got to make them so likable. In the end, it's like, yeah, you're gonna cry at this. Like, okay, I cried more at Becky because she didn't really come as unlikable on the show, but like Caroline when she dies, like, okay, cool. Even though they were trying to make a character likable, she's like, I'm likable. I love you so much. It's like, Caroline isn't likable. Caroline's a bitch. She's not as bad as Brooke and Taylor, but, well, Taylor later on, but Taylor, before, she's not great either. She's somewhere in the middle of Taylor. Likeable and dislikable Taylor. Yeah. But she didn't notice that she was sick or something. She was limping and they were like, oh. She was like, oh, it's nothing. I guess that she can't. I just felt like she should have been the one to find out she got pancreas cancer. Not everybody. And not telling her, too, that, yeah. Like, when they went about it when Stephanie had cancer, it was only her and Brooke knowing. That was a much better way. Much better way, because Stephanie knew about it. Same as Caroline. When Caroline died, it was Caroline that had cancer. She was the only one who knew about it. That was a better line. But when everybody knew Becky was dying, it's like Becky doesn't know about it. That was kind of dumb, the way they went with it. Because, also, how does she get into the... I don't understand that. What else? Brooke and Thorne. Brooke is the bane of my existence in this season. Brooke was very insufferable. I think Thorne is actually worse than Brooke. Because the fact that Thorne's, like, Macy died because of, Thorne getting together with Brooke. And then, he has the nerve to, like, get with Kimberly. I will talk to you about that too. Like, what kind of fucking garbage, minus my swearing, but like, what kind of garbage am I watching when I watch these shows? Seriously, like, that's how people grieve. That is not how people grieve unless they are on a rebound or something. That is not how people grieve. People don't. That's not normal. You lose somebody you love and then you sleep with somebody. I hate Macy died and Kimberly's like, I've lost Macy, my sister. It will never be the same. I gotta do something. I gotta fall in love with my dead sister's husband. Soon, well, husband, yeah. Well, ex-husband, because she did sign the papers. Did she sign the papers? I don't remember. It's very messed up. And the less they don't. This show doesn't know what grieving means. Like Macy dying and Kimberly is running to Thorne. And it feels like Sally's barely grieving too. I feel like Sally should have had a few moments. She did have a couple, but I feel like she should have been in the office like, I remember my daughter like walking through that door. It's never going to be... Or something. It just feels like this show doesn't... It doesn't make any progress. She had an alright death. Like, it was sad. Like, she died because... The second death was stupid because of the chandelier bullshit. But, you know... I don't know. What else? Stephanie being in a wheelchair because of a stroke. I guess. I'll go with it. It's not as stupid as some of the other bullshit we see on the show. I just feel like this show doesn't know what its overall arc is. It's like, we do this, we do that. I like what they're doing with CJ's character, but then I don't like what they're doing. I like that he's become more aggressive and he's not more happier. He's more like serious and all that. I like that about it. He's like, because he lost somebody, he takes shit seriously. I like that he does. That's what his characters turn into. But it's the whole Amber and wanting to fall in love with her because he's lost somebody. Like, that was like your lover's cousin. Like, I think Amber and Becky were cousins. But that's how you grieve on this fucking show. Again, show doesn't know what grief means. When somebody dies, you grieve. Not... It's the same bullshit what they did with Taylor's character. It's like, oh, but Stephanie died and now I'm chasing Eric. It's like, you were meant to be the most, you were meant to be the most one that wanted to fall in love. Like, you're the one that was her best friend. You were besties, Taylor. You and Stephanie. You were close. You were more daughter to her than anybody on that show. And this is how you repay her? Like, Stephanie's dead and, like, 10 episodes later, you're chasing Eric? Like, what? It's just stupid. Anything else? I'm trying to think of stuff. We had the Kimberly trying to split Amber up. They really like to have females attack females and males attack males. Unless it's like Stephanie. She'll just attack a female and a male. I like that about her. Sometimes Sally too. Sally's probably the most likable character on the show at the moment. Sally and Darla. Like, Stephanie's not bad, but there's moments there. Yeah. I like that what they're doing with Bridget, like, I wish that Brooke, like, since that Fawn and Brooke aren't together, I wish that Brooke went straight to her children instead of going to Taylor and being like, it was hard for me breaking up with him. You couldn't understand how I was feeling at the time. Like, go back to your children. Wasn't that the whole point, so that you could be together more for your children? Why does Stephanie have to be with why does Stephanie have to be with Rick and know all this stuff? Why can't she be there for Rick? Why can't you be there for Bridget? Like, seriously, why does it have to be up to them two? Isn't Bridget still going to school? Is Bridget in high school in this season? I don't know. I don't know anymore. But season 14, I would have loved them to continue, but they don't. They don't. Anyway, that's my Bold and Beautiful talk. I forgot to mention about Taylor's character too. Like, Taylor, you know, she isn't the greatest in, you know, when she came back, but I do like these Taylor moments. Ridge is an idiot for not telling Taylor. Stephanie's not great. Oh, I forgot to mention Stephanie. One last thing. I forgot to mention Stephanie tried to kill Morgan's baby. It's like, what the actual fuck? She was going to put poison or birth control, like, to stop the pregnancy test. Pregnancy. It's like, what? In her tea? Like, this is insane. I guess it's not as insane as what Morgan does not very long, like, to go, because doesn't she, like strangle, like, grab a snake and strangle, unleash a snake on Clark and strangle him to death, almost? So, you know, touche, but wow. I can't believe Stephanie did that. Anyway, that's insane. Anyway, please subscribe, turn the notification, click the bell beside you. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Bye!